All right, so we are here. We're live. This is the first video. Welcome to Red Pill. I want to thank you guys for being here. I wanted to start off today with some important information that came out of the state of Florida yesterday. Basically, the state Surgeon General, Joseph A. Ladapo, issued new mRNA COVID-19 vaccine guidance. So they did a self-controlled case series, and they found an 84% increase in cardiac-related deaths among 18 to 39-year-olds within the first 28 days of vaccination. I mean, that's a huge signal. And, you know, the reason why this is so important is because this is the first time that a state has actually started recommendations against vaccinations for certain age groups, especially if they've had COVID. All right. So I want to go over this this article really quickly. So here's the article. I'll leave links to all this stuff in the description. So today, the state Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph A. Ladapo, has announced new guidance regarding mRNA vaccines. The Florida Department of Health has conducted analysis through a self-controlled case series, which is a technique originally developed to evaluate vaccine safety. Right, so they use the same techniques that they've used on other vaccine development, and you know, how could you kind of refute that? You know what I mean? Like if this is the way that they've done it before and it was okay then, why would it not be okay now? Maybe because it doesn't fit the narrative of the mainstream media and of our current government. So this analysis found that there's an 84% increase in relative incidence of cardiac-related deaths among 18 to 39-year-olds within the first 28 days. You know, with a high level of global immunity to COVID-19, the benefit of vaccination is likely outweighed by this abnormal high risk of cardiac death among men. Non-mRNA vaccines were not found to have this increase, right? So they're saying that the mRNA vaccines are the ones that they're seeing this risk for pericarditis, heart-related issues post-vaccination. Studying the safety and efficacy of any medication, including vaccines, is an important component of public health, said the Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo. Far less attention has been paid to safety and the concerns of many individuals, and you know, he's saying they've basically been dismissed. And I can tell you from personal experience that that's 100% true. Especially in the beginning, if you ever brought up the vaccine as being, suspect of the symptoms that you're having, you were completely dismissed. You were completely saying, oh, that's not possible. You know, what you're going through is anxiety or some kind of psychological abnormality. And they completely blew you off. So here is the analysis. And there was one part that I wanted to kind of go over, and that was the results. And again, there will be a link to this in the description, so you'd be able to look at the findings, the PDF of all the findings on your own. So the first thing I wanted to show was the all-cause deaths following vaccination. In the 28 days following vaccination, no increase in risk was observed for all-cause deaths. A statistically significant decrease was observed for patients 60 years or older. Now, that could be true for the older age groups. I know certain people, I've talked to certain doctors, Dr. Drew is one of them, who treats, lots and lots of old patients. And, the immunity provided by vaccination, I could see bringing down, the severity of COVID for much older individuals. I would even say 70 plus. So, that I could see. But the no increase in risk of all-cause deaths And everyone? No, I don't see that at all, because the tens of thousands of people that are in our support groups, would disprove that in a heartbeat. We're seeing everything from seizures to heart issues to blood clots to neurological problems to, sympathetic nervous system issues, to the list goes on and on and on. So, to say that there was no observed risk of all-cause deaths, it doesn't jive with me at all, because of all of the complications that we're having, especially if you've ever had any kind of underlying condition. Your rate of all-cause deaths goes through the roof. I mean, the problem with all-cause deaths is that they're so easily dismissed, right? They'll be like, oh, well, so-and-so passed away from a stroke, or so-and-so passed away from a blood clot, or, they passed away from organ failure, or this, that, and the other. And if they were completely healthy pre-vaccination and then all of a sudden had these complications, a month, 2-3 months down the road after vaccination, I mean, at that point, with what I've seen, I'm going to say we are definitely seeing a rise in all-cause deaths due to these inoculations. So, cardiac-related deaths following vaccination. In the 28 days following vaccination, a significant increase in cardiac-related deaths was detected for the entire study population. I mean, there you go. I mean, what else more, do you want to see? And on top of that, it's not like the CDC, the NIH, the World Health Organization are denying that they are seeing giant spikes in cardiac issues in certain age groups. So this completely goes along with what the major health organizations are saying. So yeah, I mean, so some people are going to be like, okay, well, who's Joseph Ladapo? I mean, what are his credentials? And I was kind of interested as well, because I didn't really know. I knew of him, but I didn't know where he studied and what his credentials were. So basically, he's an American physician, and after immigrating to the United States from Nigeria when he was 5, he attended the college at Wake Forest University, and he earned an MD and a PhD in health policy from Harvard University. He completed a residency and a fellowship in internal medicine at Beth Israel Medical Center, and a teaching, which is a teaching hospital of Harvard Medical School. He was a professor of medicine at New York University and UCLA, and he became the acting Florida Surgeon General in 2021. Now, what I find interesting is that Harvard, New York University, and UCLA all found this guy to be relevant, found him to be, so well educated that he could literally educate the future population of doctors coming out into the community. But now that he is saying, look, we have some safety signals, we have some issues here, he's completely dismissed. And even on Wikipedia, if you look here, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ladapo has promoted unproven treatments, opposed vaccine mandates, questioned vaccine safety, and associated with American Frontline Doctors, a right-wing group known to promote falsehoods about the pandemic. I'll say something about, America's frontline doctors. The issues with these groups are they have a ton of good points, right? A lot of what they say is very true. And the only reason why I'm saying it's very true is because I'm seeing it with my own eyes and I'm experiencing it in my own body, right? But they do promote, I don't want to say they promote, but they do have some doctors that spout certain studies that are kind of preprints, or, there's not enough evidence to come up with something conclusive, and it kind of ruins their validity. So, I mean, they say that the man's completely accredited, but at the same time, if he goes against the narrative, he's completely, dismissed, debunked. And I don't think that's fair. I know that's happened to a ton of doctors that have been, actively trying to spread awareness of what is happening and what the potential risks are. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I want to thank you guys for being here. This is our first video. I have plenty of videos coming up. I have plenty of things planned. I want to do a bunch of interviews because I want this to be an important place for people, going through, a vaccine adverse reaction, B, someone that's dealing with long COVID, or C, someone that's trying to make a decision for themselves, for their loved ones, for their children. And I'm not going to sit here and say, vaccines are the worst thing in the world. You shouldn't do it. I'm not a licensed doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just someone that has, experienced an adverse reaction and has been living with that adverse reaction for the last 20 months. And during that process, I have acquired a lot of information and a lot of knowledge on what is going on, with these vaccines and what's going on with these adverse reactions. So, this channel is going to be a place that's not going to, censor anything. I want the information out there so people can get help, and so we can avoid, more of these reactions in the future. So, like, subscribe, share. Let's get this channel monetized as quickly as possible, because once it becomes monetized, I would like to start helping people get tests that they need. I would like to start helping people get treatments that they need, and I would like to start helping people maybe pay off a medical bill or something that's hanging over their head. So each month, once we reach a certain level, each month I'd like to pick one subscriber where I can help out to make, the things that we're going through a little bit easier. All right. So till next time, we'll see you soon.